Hello everybody and welcome. This is Vorosh bringing you a StarCraft Brood War commentary between Jangbi and EffOrt. I used to call this a random game from Pro League, but now that I've faced the possibility that there was no Pro League, that Pro League was done, I can never call it random again because every single game of Pro League is precious. This is the SK Planet 2011-2012 Pro League, and we are going to be watching Jangbi versus EffOrt on Sniper Ridge. Guys, I'm so sorry for my 5-month hiatus. I'm so happy to be back, bringing you StarCraft Brood War. I was so worried that I was never going to see a professional game of StarCraft Brood War again when I was watching the Jangbi versus Fantasy Finals. I was thinking, I hope not, but this could be the last pro game of Brood War I ever see, and I'm so glad I was wrong. I actually started to think about how to say goodbye to Brood War, how to make a goodbye video, and it was just like such a daunting experience, such a daunting task, man, it's really hard to put into words, and I know that's supposed to be my job, but it was like emotional for me. I'm like, Brood War has been such a big part of my life. To try to think to how to say goodbye to it is emotional. It's making me sad, and that's why when they announced that Pro League was coming back, that Team 8 was going to be the super team, that we were going to get to see even more players with the new format, no more ace matches, so you can't just put your team on Flash's back and have him carry you. You need 3 wins from 3 separate people to win a match. Like, all of the news just overwhelmed me with happiness, and here we are now with Jangbi at the bottom right and EffOrt at the bottom left on Sniper Ridge. They've met once. They met a month ago, earlier in this season, and EffOrt took that game. But I think Jangbi has a better chance in this one because Sniper Ridge is a very nice looking map. Well, actually, it's not very nice looking because it has the unfortunate characteristic of resembling a swastika. But other than that, it's a pretty nice map. The hills are going to make it favor lurker play, and I think, probably, well, I've seen a couple of Zerg vs Terran and Zerg vs Protoss games on this map already, and it's favored lurker. The Zergs have favored lurker play because they can be really effective on the ramps, but also the chokes of the naturals. Like, if you can build a sim city to kind of choke and then force zealots to funnel through that, lurkers can be really effective in that case. And in the other Zerg vs Protoss game, I've actually only seen like 2 Zerg vs Protoss games. I think I watched Stork vs Hero on this game, and the sim cities that Hero went for, or could it have been Stork vs Zero? This is embarrassing, but whichever one I'm thinking of, the chokes that they made, the sim cities that they made, instead of being like at the hatchery, they were further up. They used their 4th and 5th hatchery further up by the choke points, where we're going to see the Forge fast expand in all likelihood from Jangbi. And like, they created a really narrow choke that could be blocked with some units and spine crawl. Oh, no, I didn't say spine crawler, guys. I said sunken colonies. You misheard. You rewind. I definitely said sunken colonies, and you misheard. Don't tell anyone, okay? I'm really sorry about that, guys. Brood War forever, StarCraft 2. Well, I'm not going to say StarCraft 2 sucks, because I think it's a really interesting game, and it's only going to get better from here, but always, I would give my life for Brood War, maybe not for StarCraft 2. Wait, give my life, that's a little extreme. But anyway, we did see the overpull into hatchery from EffOrt, and he's not gotten his gas yet, so it's going to be a late speed. So Jangbi really does, well, actually, he might not even get in to see this. The Zerglings are streaming across the map, and for all he knows, oh, that's actually a pretty interesting wall. Like, that's actually a really bad wall if I'm correct. Like, he's gonna need several probes to defend that. Finally, after getting his gas, so it's gonna be a little bit of a later speed, more economical build, but it's gonna be less worrisome for Jangbi. But yeah, he's 3 probes off the line to protect from a Ling run by. Even though if there is a Ling run by, it's gonna be a slow run by. Still, Oh, is there a gap on the left side too? Like to the left of the pylon? It looks like there might be. So this is actually having to pull 3 probes off the line. Is kind of problematic for Jangbi. Like he's just losing some mining time right here. Just with the threat that EffOrt might do a slow Ling run by. There's probably a better way to position the gateways than he has. The gateway than he has, especially because if a lurker walks right up there, it's going to be able to burrow in a place where it can easily pick off the gateway without taking cannon fire. I don't know. I was gonna say that it's a relatively new map, but it's been out for like a month and a half now, so it's kind of inexcusable that the Forge Fast expand would be a little bit off. But I guess Jangbi decided this is the best way to do it, and I'm just a stupid commentator who's D+ right now on iCup, so I really don't have room to talk. So anyways, let's talk about the third positioning from EffOrt. You might think that's really far away from his natural, and it is, but there is a base right above his natural, but that one's a little bit harder to defend. There are 2 entrances to it, and there's no really good choke. It's just like at the top of the hill feeds right into the third base, and it's kind of problematic. So 2 zealots are moving across, and they might go up and harass the third, but you know, it is really far away from the natural, but the Lings are already out, so he should be fine. And actually, it's kind of dangerous. He only has 2 zealots. He's moving out with 2 zealots, and he was just expecting there to be only 6 Zerglings up there. But had there been more, those zealots could have easily gotten surrounded and taken out. But I'm happy with how this game is going because it's definitely going to go into a longer macro game, and we haven't actually gotten a shot of Jangbi's base in a while, so I don't actually really know what's going on with him, but we know that EffOrt is getting his third, and he's getting his spire, so 3-hatch spire into something, probably going to be 5-hatch lurker Ling, just from what I've seen on this map in the past and like how I would expect this to go. Like 5-hatch Hydra is possible, but like with Hydras you want to be engaging your opponent in like the most open of spaces, and this map doesn't really have the most open spaces. It's kind of like the swastika in the middle, if you will, divides it into like 4 quadrants that are a little tight, and then the chokes at the bases are even tighter. So I'm kind of overanalyzing the same point a little when there's so much to be talking about. Let's talk about how both of these players. Okay, wait. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Sayer DT. But let's talk about how both of these players are Star League champions now. I'm so glad to be able to say that about Jangbi. And let's let EffOrt won an OSL back in 2010, 2 years ago now. And he beat Flash to do it, and like you'd think there'd be no more impressive way to win a Star League, until you saw the 2011 Jin Air OSL between Jangbi and wow, look at that Zealot positioning between Jangbi and Fantasy. That was the single greatest best of 5 I've ever seen in my entire life, and it looks like he's gonna go for drone sniping. Gets 2 drones, might get a third. No, it looks like he's just gonna get 2, and a couple of Lings, so actually not too bad, but right behind that, the minerals, it looks like there's room for only 1 Zealot or 1 Ling, because it's a very narrow space, and I thought he was just going to keep some Zealots camped out there. Like, that's a really narrow space and a really good place to engage. So yeah, nice. Yeah, this is what I was anticipating. He's using a hatchery and an Evo chamber at his 3rd, and a hatchery and a Hydralist at his 4th, and he's actually putting 2 sunken colonies behind that. Does he know about the Sayer DT? I'm not really sure yet. Oh, he's actually making a spore colony instead. So, he's making a spore colony at both bases. As I was gonna say, 2 sunken colonies is. I said spine again, I'm sorry. 2 sunken colonies is more than people typically go for, but going for sunken spore at both bases, it's going to be so, like, the Corsairs, like, they really don't have anything to do. There's no amount of Overlords that they could kill for the DTs to actually start being effective. So Jangbi's just going to have to transition out of this as quickly as possible. He's getting +1 melee attack, one would assume, unless it's +1 shields, and he's going big air, but I doubt that, at his Forge right now. And he's actually trying to run in gets kind of surrounded by the Lings, and he loses one DT, and is he going to lose the second? No, just barely getting away out of Spore Colony Vision. And actually he looks like he's going to build a second sunken colony at his natural, so kind of worried about that, taking his third gas right now, and he's continued to produce a lot of Lings, and we haven't seen any Hydralisk out, so we can only assume that it's going to be Lurker Ling, that my ghosty prediction was right. And oh my god, that was sloppy. Jangbi with 5 Corsairs loses one, and when you have 5 Corsairs, you should never lose one to Scourge if it can be avoided. And he had +1 attack too, and he lost another one. He has +1 attack on his Corsairs. Oh, that's like a uh-oh face. +1 attack on his Corsairs, and he loses 2 Corsairs to Scourge. That's really bad. And wow, we're seeing Queen's Nest already, and that's kind of been the trend actually. When people were going 5-hatch Hydra, they were having a really long mid game, like on Lair Tech for a very long time, and getting +1, +2 upgrades for ranged attack, and actually are running into the natural expansion. This actually has the potential to do a lot of damage, and no, it looks like it's just going to kill one cannon, and all of the Zerglings are going to die. But now, here are the Lurkers, and there's no observers in the sky. I don't even know if there's a robotics facility yet. Hopefully we're just going to, switch back to Jangbi's base. And it looks like he's got those Zealots on hold position, and he might actually lose a couple. Oh, just reacts just in time and only loses one. I love the epic zoom-ins. They just don't do that enough in StarCraft 2. Like the tournaments do the thing where they have it in the corner. A little bit sloppy by EffOrt this time, actually losing a Lurker while unburrowed. So it's EffOrt's turn to play a little bit sloppy, but now running in, and this engagement's good for him. And if he can perch on that, if he can like take the middle map position, it's going to be pretty tough for Jangbi to take a third. We would expect him to be taking it there, but there's a Zergling there with 1 kill, so it looks like he killed a probe. I would expect Jangbi to take his third at the mid-right, but if EffOrt was at any other position, he'd take it at the mid-bottom, which is the position that that EffOrt's completely controlling right now. And it looks like, hey, I was right about that too. Those Lurkers are able to easily siege that gateway up without being anywhere close to the range of that cannon. Tons of Zerglings out in the middle of the map, all now with +1 Carapace, by the way, and they should actually have Crack relatively soon. The hive is up, and wow, we flashed that so quickly, I didn't see what he was going for. Definitely Ultras. No, just kidding. Probably Defilers is what we're going to see to complement those Lurkers really nicely. And like Lurkerling Defiler is a good composition versus any race, with the possible exception of Zerg. In ZVZ, is what I meant to say. What is that? Oh, 4 pilots. I'm like, what is he back there? Cannons and something? Expecting a view to switch with all those Corsairs. And now finally Jangbi has enough Corsairs that he doesn't really have to worry about the Scourge, even with +1 Carapace. And it looks like he's going to be moving out. And he's got a pretty fearsome Zealot, Dragoon, and High Templar army. And those Storms are going to be really effective against both the Lings and the Lurkers. But it's going to be... is Consume going to get up in time? Yeah, it looks like he's going for Defiler Mound, but no, that Consume's not even close, so Jangbi with +2 attack is going to hit a nice timing and take his third, but there's a Ling right there to immediately scout this. This is a nice timing for Jangbi to try to hit, and wow, there's a ton of Lings in the middle of the map, and it looks like they did a run around, and they're going to go, where are they going? He's going to 1A, 2A, 3A straight into the natural, it looks like, and it looks like only Dragoons are rallying out instead of Zealots, so that's actually going to be really bad. The Dragoons are going to go down really, really quick to the Zerglings. Zerglings flooding everywhere, probes off the line trying to attack them. Wait, it looks like luckily Crack is not up right now, but no, it looks like... Wait, was I wrong, or did it just finish? Crack is finished, and Zerglings are attacking so quickly, doing so much damage. That's a really huge thing for EffOrt, because it not only did it do damage, but it bought a ton of time. and it looks like he might deny the third. Oh, Cracklings do so much damage so fast, and if he doesn't cancel that, it's going to be red when it comes up, but it looks like he does cancel it in time. And he cleans up the rest of those Zerglings, but I don't think EffOrt really cares about the cost of these Zerglings, especially now that he's gotten his 4th up, and Jangbi's still on 2 bases. He's just buying more and more time, and it's a really nice investment because each second these Zealots are trying to deal with all of these Zerglings, it's just another second that the Lurkers, or that the Defiler, on the Defiler mound, that consume upgrade just creeps closer and closer to completion, and once that happens, it's going to be really nice. And it looks like he's got speed overlords, and he's going to try to scourge all of the observers. He gets one. I see one more, and he's made some Mutalisks, and he's actually going to snipe the observer with the Mutalisk. Oh my god, and he's probably going to get the High Templar too. Wow, that's a really big departure from what the Mutalisk normal role is. First of all, with this many Corsairs in the air, you wouldn't expect to see Mutalisks at all, but normally their role is to snipe High Templars or force High Templars to turn into Archons so that there's fewer storms later. But this time, actually, that was nice, making them just to snipe the observers. And right now, Jangbi's probably waiting for another observer to rally in. I haven't seen any shots hit Lurkers directly. And another running into the natural. This is looking really problematic for Jangbi right now. Still not hit. He's targeting down the hatchery, but still not hitting any Lurkers. Oh, Corsairs in the air, though, are going to take out all of those Mutalisks, especially because they're very clumped up. And we see the robotics facility is probably constantly making observers right now. Another one just popped out, but there's so much damage going on. And Consume is finished, and this is a good position for EffOrt to be in. Oh, actually taking out the gas, so Jangbi right now on 1 gas. But the thing is, we're 14.5 minutes into the game. Jangbi needs a 3rd now. He needs a 3rd yesterday, 2 minutes ago, I mean. And some plagues actually going off on a couple of Zealots and a couple of Dragoons. Is he going to get another plague before that Defiler dies? Yeah, it looks like he is. So doing a lot of damage with that too. Not quite as much as it does against Terran because of the shields, but it's going to put the Zealots at a 3rd health and the Dragoons at half health, which is still pretty good. And he's in really good position. Basically, Jangbi needs to kill either the main and natural, or kill the natural or the 3rd and 4th right now. There's a Nidus at the 4th though, and both of the Sim Cities are really working in EffOrt's favor, and Jangbi gonna try to take that 3rd base, but if he needs to take the 3rd base and be aggressive because it's gonna be so late, he needs to do damage and keep the 3rd just to stay in this game, although it does look like it's slipping away. Look at that tiny choke. There's only, actually, unless those Lurkers are stacked, which I don't think they are, there's only 1 Lurker, so this might be a really good opportunity for Jangbi to actually take out the 3rd, but 4 Lurkers popping just at the right time, Swarm going up, and they're all going to burrow and those Zealots are going to get funneled right in between all of those 3 sunken colonies and all of the Lurkers, and they're going to go down really quickly. All of them are taking so much damage from every single shot, and I saw an observer just go down to the spore colony, although there is another observer, maybe another 2 observers there, so he should be fine. But he needs to break through this immediately, and he's only got Dragoons and 1 Archon, so there's actually absolutely nothing he can do right now against the Zerglings under Swarm and Lurkers under Swarm. Finally, the Archon comes up, so it's at least going to be able to deal with the Lings pretty effectively, even under Swarm. But while it was building, it took a lot of damage, and another run-in into the natural, and Jangbi's looking really, really behind, still on 2 bases right now, and this is like panic time because his natural is almost out. The only reason he's not mined out is because he was harassed so much at his natural expansion. And he's trying to get in, but GG goes up from Jangbi, and EffOrt takes that game in a really convincing fashion, actually. Everything went up. Jangbi had a timing where his army was looking really, really scary, but EffOrt ran 36 Zerglings all the way around the map and into the natural, and I think that was the decisive moment of the game that completely won it for him. I certainly had a lot of fun watching that game. I hope you did as well, and of course, if you're looking for more StarCraft Brood War, check out Deja Vu's account.